Hello, welcome to the channel The Dry Omas, the Three Grandmothers. I'm your host Carmen. In the video of today, we have a very special edition because I love translations. So, in the video today, we are going to compare the methodology of translation of the official methodology that has almost 200 years of Champollion and the relative new of the author Alexandre Eleazar. I don't want to be irrespectful for all the people that have been studying Egypt since many years ago, but it's part of the evolution. We continue discovering things, developing new language, expanding our understanding of life, of history, and that is what we are doing here, a new methodology of translation that all show us that the history is not what we have been told. We have to remember that the lost language or the lost knowledge has not millions of years. Even in Wikipedia, it's written. During the 5th century, the permanent closing of pagan temples across the Roman Egypt ultimately resulting in the ability to read and write hieroglyphics being forgotten. And this knowledge was deliberate, erased. You can see all these marks in Egypt because the guys who destroyed our history took it like a holy mission. They believed that they were doing the right thing. The methodology of translation of the author Alexandre Eleazar is based in the Old Basque. During the Roman expansion, Egypt was not the exception, but the Euskera was the best preserved language for almost 200 years. Let's remember when we studied the Fastus disc that the expansion of Roman Empire was not only about territory, it was a reset of history, a deliberate erase of our history. So let's begin. We will compare some highlights, direction and order of reading, consonant and missing vowels, grammatic, and we will compare some cartridges. So let's begin. Direction and order of reading. In this case, both authors agree in the same. For example, here, where is the symbols looking? And then you have to read in this direction. And for example, here in horizontal, you start from top to below. And in vertical lines, you start from the exterior to the interior. Until this point, it's okay. This is where is a point of no return. There are irrevocable differences. Champollion said that there was no vowels, and he clustered the symbols depending of the consonants, unilateral or uniconsonant, biconsonant or biliteral, and triconsonant. The problem with that is that for speaking, you need vowels. And he assumed that the Egyptian language was only a written language, that it was not spoken, that it was an spoken language and it was a read language. What says Alexandre Eleazar? Let's remember the Fastos disc. The consonants are the important ones and can play by varying the vowels. So it's like a jackpot. You need to make combinations between consonants and vowels. That is why one single symbol can have different meanings, and one symbol can be used as its phonetic equivalent or grouped together to form ideograms. And the iconography is based in the nature. They saw animals, they saw plants, they saw mountains. And the key to make these combinations like jackpot is the old Basque. For example, here, according to Champollion, is one consonant, only one possible consonant. And if we take this another methodology that it can be playing consonants and vowels, you can have two meanings. For example, that Sai is a vulture or asare. It can mean angry or fury. Grammatic. Champollion suggested that one and unique grammatic was used in Egypt, and that is a mixture of several languages. For example, the verb, subject, and components, two genders, masculine, feminine, and plural based in the number of symbols. In the methodology of Eleazar, he emphasized that it's an agglutinative language. Let's remember that that's the way of very old languages around the world. The agglutinative language follow the similar structure. The verb is at the end. There are no genders, and the grammatical suffixes are added to specific words to create the genders. And the plural can be done with several symbols or you add suffix. So if you had in mind how is the structure, how is the grammatic of the agglutinative language, Quechua, Nahuatl, Japanese, Chinese, all follow the similar structure. That is the basis for Egypt as well. For example, let's see this one. Let's compare cartridges. This one is in the book of Los Payos, and according to Champollion, it's written Ptolomeo. If we use the other methodology, we can break down every symbol and several possibilities by making the combinations of consonant and vowels and listen to the phonetic as well, because there are sounds like P or B that can be switches as well. Remember, the combinations can be done by phonetic or ideograms. For example, here we have this like base foundation, a support that can be this word, oinalde, or can be this other word, enda, that is raise, caster. This symbol can have this combination of consonants or this combination of consonant. And for example, this one is combi. It's an combi symbol and can have these separate meanings. For example, it can be this one and it can be this symbol and meaning as well. So for example, lion. Lion, we can use lehoi, that is the translation to the old basket, but you have other options if you play with the consonants. For example, you can have lehor, that is mean land, or you can have leon, that is good land, because you can split the words as well, because in an agglutinative way, you glue the words or you separate the words. And the same with the other ones. So you have several combinations. So let's begin. Here is written Ptolemy. And here, where are the symbols looking? This direction, so we start reading here. So it's written, this nation, it's at the beginning of Russia, good soil for plowing the fields. The advisory group of the Aves submitted. It's talking about a conflict, a racial conflict. Let's remember that this racial conflict is beginning since the times of the humankind. Another one, this is, I like this. Here is written, according to the official methodology of translation, is written Cleopatra. If we use the other methodology, we can break down as the good land of the Ukos. It's at the beginning of Russia, proud nation of his wheat. They gave the hand to God, turning against the pale. Now is the place of the res vele. The res vele is the blonde race, the Arya race. That is why it's Russia. So here is a breakdown of the symbols. For example, this symbol is like a elbow. You have this lion as well, some trees, plants, animals. This is a vulture, hand, mouth, bird. That is how they use the symbol. And that is how it was in the past. Agglutinative languages. That is what we have always in mind. These cartridges are not in the books of the author. These translations are of my own, using his methodology. But you can have tools to compare which one is more accurate according of the combination of consonants and vowels. And it's an epitaph because Egypt is full of tombs, and exactly as it is today, you write things, wishes, thoughts. So what is written here are epitaphs. For example, according to the official translation, is the good god Mernefera, and using the other translation, it's written finally. Here he reads, for always Father in heaven, here here he rests. Epitaph. It's a tomb. Let's take a look to this one. The emperor is in the fantastic tomb. Superb. Weakened for a long time. Countenance of desire. Great Ra. It's wishes, thoughts that you write for tombs. In my blog of the dry omens, you can have manuals and a dictionary of symbols. Here, this is a part of the handbooks and the dictionary that I'm compilate. It's important to say that in this dictionary that I've been compilating, you will find some symbols in green color, for example, here. It means that these symbols are direct translation by the author, Alexandre Eleazar. You can find here this in Spanish, but you can find the translation as well in English and German. And the symbols that they don't have a color, they are white here. They are suggestion of my own, based in the ideogram and using the methodology of the author. In Spanish, there is a big communique dedicated to the Spanish. There is dedicated to the story of this Spanish author. And if you want to learn more about his version of the history, his translation, and recommendation for other YouTube channels, and link to buy the books, you can find in the below boxes. He was a very smart guy. And in the following video, we will speak about cuneiform because he left text in three languages, how to translate using this methodology: the Iberic, the Egypt, and the cuneiform. So we will analyze these texts of the Darius the Great using his methodology, and let's compare, and at least you will have more tools to make your own point of view, your own decision. So, thank you very much, and until the next time. Bye bye.